Our guest is Mr. Teixeira. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Franchise Grade, a franchise market research company that is based on London, Ontario in Canada. Because of their extensive database and contact with franchisees, franchisors, they have a unique perspective on the state of franchise industry. Ed lived in Port Jefferson of Long Island and had spent over 40 years working in the franchising companies. He has conducted seminars, written numerous articles, and been interviewed on radio and TV. Welcome, Ed.
Hello, my name is Ed Teixeira, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Franchise Grade. I live in Port Jefferson on Long Island, and I've been in the franchise industry for over 40 years as a franchise executive and franchisee. I've had the benefit of working in the franchise industry in Massachusetts, Louisville, Kentucky, and for the past several years in the New York metro area. I've represented a number of different franchise companies. The coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on major companies and the economy is unprecedented. On Long Island, countless small businesses and major retailers like Kohl's and Macy's have been forced to shut down. Apart from certain essential businesses, economic activity on the island is operating at a snail's pace. The best evidence of this is the lack of significant traffic on Long Island's primary and secondary roads. And those accustomed to Long Island traffic can certainly say that this sudden change is odd, to say the least. Having spent most of my business career working in the franchise industry, I have both business and personal reasons to hope that every franchisee and franchisor survives the unprecedented challenges they are facing, and hopefully able to return to prosperity. Some franchise categories can cope during these times and even flourish. Examples include home care, convenience store sector, fast food that depends primarily upon takeout more than sit down, baked goods, example Dunkin' Donuts, cleaning services, and automotive stores. If your franchise doesn't fall into one of these business categories, that's maintaining some degree of normalcy, but rather is facing difficult financial times, here are some suggestions that could help your Long Island-based franchise hopefully survive and overcome the current crisis. For franchisees who are struggling, number one, remain informed on important activities and events related to the crisis by watching updates from Governor Cuomo and local political leaders, especially in Nassau and Suffolk counties. Long Island Newsday now offers free access to its online digital edition, and that includes frequent updates on happenings not only in Nassau and Suffolk, but even the towns with an interactive map. Two, work with your accountant to help with a financial survival plan. There are some relief programs available. For example, delaying your 6.2% payroll tax for 2020 and being able to pay 50% by December 31st, 2021, and the other 50% by December 31st in 2022. Your CPA should be familiar with these and other programs and should be able to provide you financial information as you continue to operate your business. Three, contact your local bank and find out about SBA loan programs under recently enacted legislation designed to help small businesses, which includes franchisees. Loans will be administered by banks and other financial firms, and if you're an existing customer at your bank, by applying early, it may put you first in line before loans to new customers. Loans under the latest federal legislation include the Paycheck Protection Program and the COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is known as EIDL. Information on these programs, including applications, are available on the SBA website, sba.gov. 4, gather important financial information, including tax returns, income statements, and other documents you'll need when applying for your loan. Don't forget that franchise agreement because that'll be required as well. 5, contact vendors to request relief with a prepayment plan or a payment plan, I should say, you can afford. 6, your landlord may grant rent relief, including partial rent payments, and surely they're waiting to hear from you. 7, several franchisors are providing relief from all or a portion of royalty payments and ad fund contributions. 8, communicate with your fellow franchisees to learn about any suggestions or ideas they have that can help. 9, don't be reluctant to contact your franchisor for assistance in the event you are overwhelmed while you're trying to meet your expenses and other obligations. And 10, attempt to obtain extra working capital by a loan from a family member, a friend, or someone else who might be willing to help. These suggestions are intended for franchisees who find themselves struggling. Most importantly, if you are in any financial difficulty, be sure you contact your franchisee as soon as possible. Franchisor suggestions. Communicate a level of optimism to your franchisees. Demonstrate leadership so that your franchisees recognize that the franchisor is in control. It's critical that the franchisees believe that their leader is taking them on the path to hopefully what will be future prosperity out of the current crisis. Now, here's some tips that franchisors should follow. Identify how your franchisees are doing. Be available and don't hide from them. Use personal telephone calls, surveys, and other communication methods that can identify how franchisees are coping and identify those that are in a critical financial state. If you have a franchisee advisory council or association, utilize their capability to communicate and utilize them to gather information. You can work together with these associations to help support all the franchisees. 2, if your franchisees are operating in the convenience store category, healthcare services, or other active businesses, provide guidance and suggestions for enhanced customer and employee safety. This is very important. I recently, 7-Eleven, I should say, recently implemented a program to equip its 9,000 convenience stores in the US with a plastic curtain over the customer service counter. I regularly go to the 7-Eleven on Boyle Road on a Sunday to get my New York Times, and I saw them having their recently installed curtain. And I felt a good sense of comfort, and I'm sure they did as well. 3, provide royalty reduction and other financial relief to your franchisees. Include contributions to advertising funds and other continuing fees. Assisting your franchisees may encourage franchisor creditors, your creditors, to be more cooperative. 4, stop any lead generation and franchise development activities. During these times, struggling franchisees will obtain, franchisors, I should say, will obtain less leads, and those that turn into a viable candidate may be difficult to find. Plus, your existing franchisees that are struggling to survive may not appreciate their franchisors investing their funds to recruit more franchisees rather than helping to exist their current franchisee network. If there are viable candidates interested in a franchise, perhaps someone you've been working with, then offer them some incentives or special opportunities so that when they do sign the franchise agreement, they will feel more comfortable and get off on the right track. This can include deferring their royalty payments, financing their initial franchise fee, or providing some other financial incentives so that when they do launch, they'll have a bit of a head start. Craig Trachtenberg is a franchise attorney with Fox Rothschild, and he offered some good suggestions in a recent blog. Communication will serve your company best during this ordeal. Have a designated communication spokesperson. Craig also suggests reach out to your landlords and vendors now. They are nervous and will accept your call because they know it is coming. They want to understand the liquidity of the business and avoid surprises. Lenders are poised to expect calls about debt relief, so get in line and talk to them early and often. Franchisors should put new development, remodeling, and other expensive projects on hold. Liquidity will be the key to survival, and new facilities will mean little if you cannot exploit your current expenditures right now. It's the same with development and any agreement obligations. These should be suspended and other cash wasters stop until the business environment improves. The franchise industry resides on a strong foundation. However, 70% of franchisors have 50 franchisees or less, and many of them are struggling to survive. For our industry to overcome the unprecedented challenges we face will require hard work, creativity, cooperation, and optimism. And one final note, the International Franchise Association is providing daily updates on the industry, their efforts to assist the industry, and the current status of how the coronavirus is impacting franchising in general. So I strongly advise, you don't have to be a member. You can get on their website, you can obtain their information, which should be extremely helpful. Thank you very much. Good luck. God bless. And I look forward to all of us returning to an era of prosperity once again. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Ed.